Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my Week 10 predictions for the 2022 NFL season. It's been a crazy season so far. It's kind of hard to do predictions at this point, but we're starting to see which teams are starting to be more consistent, which teams are starting to be better offensively and defensively. So let's get right into it. First off, we have Falcons-Panthers for Thursday Night Football, and this is surprisingly one of the better Thursday Night Football matchups that we've had in a while. These are two pretty balanced teams. I think that both of these offenses are better than their defenses. I think that Baker's probably going to start. And if Chuba Hubbard is healthy, then Baker, Hubbard, and Foreman could have a pretty decent offensive performance. DJ Moore. I do think the Falcons are going to win the game. And also, we don't know if the Panthers offense just looked good last week because they were getting garbage time points, or if Baker actually looked okay. We're going to see, but I think this will be a very interesting Thursday Night Football game. Next up, we got London at 9:30 in the morning. We got Seahawks and we got the Buccaneers. I have the Seahawks beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-19. You'll very rarely see me pick against Tampa. I'm almost always going to pick Tom Brady, but this Seahawks team is just so exciting. It's just such a fun team to watch. They're playing well in offense. Their defense is actually okay, and Tampa's offense really hasn't been able to score 20 points in many games this year. So I have the Seahawks beating them. I think that Tampa's going to have some offensive success, but I think overall the Seahawks are going to be pretty dominant in this game. I think that Geno Smith's going to have another solid game, and they're going to actually be able to put up 20 against Tampa's defense, which has been a really solid defense this year, and I think that the Seahawks will be able to get the win. 1 o'clock games, we have Saints, Steelers, Bears, Lions, Titans, Broncos, Dolphins, Browns, Bills, Vikings, Chiefs, Jaguars, and Giants, Texans. I have the Saints beating the Steelers 30-20. I think the Saints are getting healthier and healthier. I think that they have a better team than the Steelers overall. I think that they arguably have a top half team in the league when healthy. I think they're going to be able to beat the Steelers handily. I have the Bears and the Lions having a 50-50 game. I try and predict one of these every week because I really want one of them to happen at some point, and I think that Bears-Lions really has the potential for it. The Bears' offense has been electric the past few weeks. The Lions' defense sucks. Their offense hasn't been as good recently, but it's still a pretty solid offense, and I think that these two teams could really light it up against each other. It's also a divisional matchup. Titans-Broncos, of the Titans winning 19-15. The Broncos defense does not allow over 20 points, but I think Derrick Henry is still going to have quite a few rushing yards, probably somewhere around 150 and a touchdown or two. As for the Broncos, I think they're going to score 5 field goals. I think it's going to be a pretty solid defensive game, but I think that the offense is going to be pretty bad on the passing side of the football for both teams. Bills-Vikings, I have the Buffalo Bills winning 26-20, breaking the Vikings winning streak. I think obviously I want the Vikings to win. I think it would be fantastic if Buffalo lost another game and the entire AFC East was within a game. But I don't really logically see that happening. The Vikings have only been playing teams that are worse than them, and they've just been consistently not blowing upsets. I think that this will be a tough. They are playing at 1 o'clock, so Kirk Cousins does have a chance to win this game. And they have done enough to win every single week, except for the Eagles game, which was primetime. So I think that if there's a game that Buffalo can lose, this is one of them, but I really am not banking on the Vikings to win this one. Chiefs-Jaguars, I have the Chiefs winning 40-27. I think this will be an offensive explosion. Jacksonville's defense is not great. The Chiefs' defense can win them games like they did last night, but it's not the most consistent defense in the world. I think that the Chiefs are going to get an early lead, and Jacksonville is going to get a good number of garbage time points to bring the final score to 40-27. Dolphins-Browns, I have the Dolphins having a get-right game defensively. Their defense has been not great the past few weeks, but Tua's been on fire. I think Tua's going to continue to be on fire, putting up 37 against this Cleveland Browns team, and I think that the defense is going to have a much better performance, only allowing 23. I think that this is going to be similar to the Chiefs-Jags game, where the Dolphins are going to have a very strong lead, and then there's going to be a lot of garbage time touchdowns. Giants-Texans, have the Giants winning 27-17. Not much to say in this one. The Giants are a pretty solid football team. The Texans are pretty bad. The Giants' offense is mediocre. Their defense is mediocre. And I think that they're going to be able to, their defense is above average, and I think that they're going to be able to put up a decent number of points on the Houston Texans, and they're going to get probably a 2-score, maybe 3-score victory. Probably 2-score. 4 o'clock games, we have Raiders, Colts, we have Cardinals, Rams, and we have Cowboys, Packers. I didn't really want to, give a score for Raiders, Colts. I didn't really feel like that game deserves a score. I almost put 2-0, but I thought 6-1 would be funnier. Technically, you can get a 1-point safety in the NFL when if your opponent scores a touchdown and then you get a safety on a 2-point conversion or on a blocked extra point and run it back, and then they tackle you in your own end zone. It's technically a possible thing that can happen. It's never going to happen, but it can happen. So I'm predicting that that's going to happen. It's going to be the only score in the game. I think that this will probably be a higher scoring, a lower. I really don't even know. I don't know what to think about either of these teams. They're both horrendous. For the Raiders, the coaching's bad. For the Colts, just everything else is bad. And this game is just going to be horrendously bad. Cowboys, Packers, not going to be a great game either. I think the Cowboys are just going to handily beat the Packers in a defensive battle. And then Cardinals, Rams, I have the Cardinals winning 32-20. I think that this will be the most interesting of the 4 o'clock games. Although the Cardinals have a worse record than the Rams, I think that their team is considerably better than the Rams just because they have an offense. The Rams' defense is pretty solid, but I think that the Cardinals will figure it out, and I think that they're going to be able to get revenge on the Rams and win the second matchup of the season, 32-20, with the help of DeAndre Hopkins. For Sunday Night Football, we have Niners-Chargers. I have the Niners beating the Chargers 30-23. I think this is a very exciting Sunday Night Football game. The Niners, I think, are a team that really... Both of these teams kind of need to prove themselves. The Chargers are 5-3, which is a pretty solid record. The Niners are 4-4. And I think that the Chargers are overrated, and I think that the Niners are underrated. I think that a lot of people are overrating the Niners because of Christian McCaffrey. I think that the Niners are probably somewhere in the bottom of the top 10 for teams this year. The Chargers, I think, are a little bit lower. But I think this will be a good game to get to gauge where these teams are at. The Niners' defense is consistent, but their offense needs a little bit more consistency for me to say that they're guaranteed to win this game. But the Chargers really just have not impressed me this year. Most of their games have been nail-biters, and they haven't had the hardest schedule in the world. Monday Night Football, we have Eagles versus the Commanders. I have the Eagles beating the Commanders 33-16. I think that the Eagles are going to have another game, pretty much like the Texans game. It's going to be not a prove yourself game, but it's going to be a game where the Eagles are like, yes, we are the best team in the league. We have an easy schedule, but we're going to prove to you that we are the best team in the league, even with this easy schedule, by beating a divisional opponent by 2 or 3 scores in a divisional opponent that's doing well. The Commanders are doing well. They played a good game this week against the Vikings. They're coming off of 2 wins in a row. They look like a good football team. And I think that the Eagles are going to demolish their soul. And, yeah. Those are my predictions for this week in the NFL season. I forgot to do my predictions on the Pigskin Pick'em website last week, so that kind of was annoying. But anyways, I think I got a good number of games right last week. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one.